So Virginia as a whole, especially Richmond, you're looking at transportation, utilities, and education, trade, like a lot of great things. The biggest mover for the area is CoStar. Most of your listeners know or heard about CoStar. For reference, they're the nation's largest commercial real estate data company. They own, in my sector, they own homes.com and they own apartments.com. So like when we're looking at, crystal ball and like the guys that have the most data are doubling down in my backyard. I'm like, that's worth being excited about. Now, obviously, with that comes different rents and new investors and old investors are a little bit worried because demand gets bigger. But with CoStar doubling down, the largest purchaser of land in the last year in Virginia has been Amazon for data centers. So if you're looking at where the billionaires are putting their money at, it's Virginia and Richmond and Lego has a warehouse coming out. Like these big box stores and big box companies are invested heavily. And I'd say these trends are bringing new investors in residents. We've got several Fortune 500 companies or 10, excuse me. And we're just seeing growth with the big guys, and they're bringing their big businesses as well.
That's pretty fascinating that you bring up the data centers. I want to say that it was one of the economic forecast meetings for the beginning of 2024 last year. And this was one of their exact topics, how we've actually seen an uptick in data centers here in the Atlanta market, primarily because you guys were the topic of conversation. Like, even if land is available, the time that it takes to get infrastructure in place to power these data centers is usually like 2 years. And so at that point, you can go up there and buy land. And I want to say it was like $1 million an acre. And, I could be off because I was about a year out and definitely not
Hmm.
expert in your market. But I was like, holy crap, that is crazy that like even if you buy land today and start breaking ground, you can't tie in electrical or utilities for 2 years just because of that's how long it's taken for the different utility providers to be able to service those properties.
Yeah, there's so much demand, and now they're buying in these even more tertiary markets within Virginia. And it's like, how do we get utilities out there? Right? No one's ever needed utilities of this scale. So with these big companies, you're also seeing more construction, but also with more construction, you're seeing things start to be more accessible statewide. I mean, in Virginia, the Hampton Roads tunnel that connects, the peninsula, the seven cities. You've got Portsmouth and Newport News,